Do you really believe that being born poor means you're doomed to stay poor? If so, this story might disturb you and maybe, just maybe, set you free. Because here's the raw truth. Poverty isn't just about money. It's about mindset. And the scariest part? Nobody's ever told you that directly. While most people spend their lives waiting for a lucky break, others turn scraps into empires. All because they understand one thing that school never taught. The mind comes before your money. If you think wealth is only for the lucky or well-connected, you need to hear this story until the end, because it's going to flip a switch inside your brain. Literally. We're talking about how a simple tea seller turned into a digital entrepreneur, starting with nothing in a forgotten village. This is a fairy tale. It's a real-life story that proves success through action, and smart work can beat any odds. But here's the warning. After hearing this, you won't be able to unsee the truth. No more excuses. So, if you're ready to learn why change your mindset might be the most urgent move of your life, and discover what really separates winners from watchers, stay with me. Because this journey might just wake up the version of you that you've been burying for too long. Ramlal woke up before sunrise every day. He worked tirelessly in the fields, carried heavy bags of rice, and yet his pockets were always lighter than the morning breeze. He wasn't lazy or careless, but something kept him stuck in that cycle of struggle and survival. He'd grown up hearing, rich people are born lucky, and the poor only inherit misfortune. These beliefs became invisible chains, until one day, a luxury car stopped at the village entrance. A man stepped out, Rohit Malhotra, who had once been just as poor as the rest. When asked how he became rich, his answer was simple yet life-altering. Change your mindset. That hit Ramlal like lightning. Change your mindset? That's it? Not a lottery win, not a rich uncle, not some magical chance? Rohit calmly explained, the real difference between rich versus poor mindset isn't talent. It's thinking. Most people still wait for luck. But those who rise know that overcoming poverty begins in the mind. Ramlal remembered all those sleepless nights, stressing over debt, praying for relief. But he never questioned the way he thought. And right there, the seed of self-improvement was planted. Not a miracle, not a hack, a decision, a turning point. And this was just the beginning. Rohit, now a walking success story, didn't speak in fancy words or motivational fluff. He talked like someone who had lived what others only complained about. Ramlal, he said, stop believing your fate is sealed. It's not about where you're born. It's about the decisions you make with the right mindset. That, my friend, is mindset shift. If you want to know how to become rich, you must understand that the real prison is mental. And that impromptu conversation, that was the spark that lit a fire. Ramlal didn't know how yet, but something inside him had awakened. And Rohit's story, oh, it was just getting started. Rohit started with a dusty old tea cart on the side of the road. Most people laughed, called it a desperate hustle, but he saw it as his first classroom in financial education. As he stirred his tea, he listened to business podcasts and read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad Inspiration. That's when he realized making money and thinking like the wealthy are two different skills. He didn't just want to survive, he wanted to thrive. He studied Think and Grow Rich and quickly saw that the key wasn't working harder, it was working smarter. Success through action needed both attitude and strategy. And it all began with the power of thought. Rohit's secret weapon? Storytelling. With every cup of tea, he told a short, powerful tale, a Hindi inspirational story a day. People came back not just for the drink, but for the experience. Soon, regular customers asked, why don't you open something bigger? He didn't miss the hint. He saved every rupee, learned about profit margins, inventory, and launched a small grocery store. That was the tipping point. There were no magic tricks, just smart work, vision, and small wins stacked over time. You see, it's not about burning yourself out. It's about planning smart so you can harvest big. With the shop running well, Rohit did what most never think of. He adapted. While others feared the internet, he dove into e-commerce and digital marketing tutorials on YouTube. Within months, his store went online, now selling across cities. You can go from village to businessman, he'd say, if you stop thinking small. Nobody doubted him anymore. His journey from poor to rich wasn't about shortcuts. It was about showing up with strategy. Rohit had become a breathing example of personal growth. And the wildest part? It all started with a simple shift in thinking. Ramlal moved his core, began waking up with a different kind of fire. No longer dragging himself through the day, but waking with purpose. He borrowed the book Rohit had once mentioned, Think and Grow Rich, and read it like his life depended on it. He began jotting down goals, questioning old habits and challenging beliefs he'd never questioned before. He started saving bits of his income, something he once thought impossible. He swapped "I can't" for "how can I?" That's what a true mindset shift looks like. Life on the outside hadn't changed much, but inside, everything was different. People around him started noticing. "What's got into Ram Law?" they asked. And with a quiet grin, he'd reply, "Change your mindset, change your life." The reality is, most people stay stuck because they never change the way they think. That's why financial education is so powerful. It doesn't just change your wallet, it changes your worldview. Ram Law didn't just dream, he took action. He joined free local business workshops, started selling homemade snacks, and partnered with nearby markets. He didn't get rich overnight, but he became a man with vision. And vision, my friend, is more valuable than a fixed paycheck. The video ends, but the lesson echoes. Think differently or stay where you are. There's no secret formula, only bold decisions. Those who change your mindset find paths where others see walls. This is a kind of motivational story that doesn't come from fiction. It's born from real transformation. Rich versus poor mindset isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a silent force shaping destinies. So ask yourself, what you've been feeding your mind? Because that's where it all begins. And like Rohit once said, if you really want to grow, start today or spend a lifetime wondering what could have been. Now tell me, after hearing all this, are you really going to keep thinking small? Keep believing that wealth is for others, while you settle for just enough to get by? Because if this story taught us anything, it's this. Overcoming poverty starts in your mind, not in your bank account. The world won't stop to give you permission, but it does respond when you show up and act. And the first action? Rethinking how you see money, opportunities, and most importantly, yourself. So tell me in the comments, what's your first step today? Are you diving into financial education? Starting that small idea you've been sitting on? Picking up that book gathering dust? Or are you still waiting for a miracle? Remember, every success story starts with one bold decision, and the time to decide is right now. If this story sparks something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stick around. Because here, you'll find more stories like this one, not just to inspire you, but to show you exactly what's possible. In the end, it's always your choice. Change your mindset or live your whole life wondering what might have been.